Good evening, sir. I would like to have an interview with you if it's okay.
Yeah.
I understand. How long have you been in the field, sir?
So let's get back to the history. So I've been working in a certain radio station and a TV station in Misamis Occidental and Pagadian City. To be particular, on a radio station of DXSY Osamis City, Y96, and TV radio station of RTVN TV9 in Pagadian City. Way back 1996 and 2005. So I was connected on a certain local radio station, in Osamis City for almost 6 or 5 years, wherein I was involved in various public affairs program, and mostly of those programs was being aired during 6 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock. Osamis City in particular, in Misamis Occidental as a whole province. So this radio station captured the listeners along the way from Lanao del Norte, Lanao del Sur, the whole provinces of Misamis Occidental, and some part of Zamboanga.
So, sir, what inspires you to become a journalist?
Actually, I was not really into journalism. I am not really keen or well versed on in terms of write-ups. So yeah, the media practitioner was being categorized into two, the print ad media and the broadcast media. So I belong to the broadcast media, TV and radio station.
And what topics do you usually cover?
Okay, in TV station, like the same goes with the print ad media. Most likely, the topics are being tackled there was on the politics, on the crime. Mostly, the crime was already captured from the police blotter, the PNP police report, and some of the interview that we had was on the elected officials. Those were the big political figure that we able to capture and interview them regarding on their pertaining to their political aspiration. We, as a member of the media practitioner, we come up with a scope, okay, a local scope and even a national scope. So they send us to interview, and we also had our guide question, so that the mood of the interview is quite harmonious and properly guided.
Since it is about broadcasting, sir, covering a story or covering a topic
Yeah, we follow a certain topic,
Yes,
certain story.
always have a deadline, sir, di ba?
Yeah, there's always a deadline because right after you interview, then there will be an airing time for every interview.
So how do you manage the stress of having tight deadlines?
And there's always a deadline, especially in the radio station. There's always a day-to-day coverage. Every day there should be a new scope, new topic to be discussed, and every day there's always a new interviewee. We always had a time management, and we put an order in our bulletin, priority to tackle. So we always follow what is being told to us by our production manager, by our station manager, or any key person in the station. So we were assigned. There is a so-called ambush interview. Before the interview, the scope was already being reiterated to us, was being disseminated to us. Like for example, we interviewed. We are not really intended to interview a certain person, but then a certain political figure, a big one, the big one, the big fish. So we bring him. We interviewed him without
Preparations.
preparation.
Have mentioned earlier interviewees, sir, no? So there might be instances that you may encounter rude interviewee. How would you handle a hostile or and cooperative interviewees, sir?
We cannot just disregard that sometimes we interviewed a person non-cooperative. So he will not answer some questions that we ask them, and then we can sort out everything. We can sort out. Maybe he's not the right person to talk about such issue. Then we can have another one. No, that is how you manage. If the interview you are asking is not cooperative, then you can sort of another sources. So this is how your interview guide and how you tend to divert your ideas to another scope, another person to be interviewed.
Sir, how do you ensure your work is accurate and factual?
Okay. Every time you interview and every time you're being sent there to interview a certain specific topic, there has to be an evidence. No, there should be a first-hand evidence, and the only thing that you have to do is to go in depth in the topic based on the documents that you have.
Sir, are you active in social media, sir?
I am not really going to social media as of now because I have a bad experiences during those days. During my time when I am active in the broadcast industry, and this is one of the reason why I tended to leave Osami City, tended to evacuate Osami City for a sustaining life with my family.
So, what do you think are the strengths and weaknesses in using social medias in storytelling, sir? In news.
This this is a perspective of mine. No? Actually, social media gives a lot of information, but we have to be careful. No, you have to be careful and be selective. Yeah, it's really true that there are fake news. That if you try to look into it, almost true, but it is fake. So anyway, the government is not neglecting all those uncertainties in the social media.
What qualities make a good journalist, sir?
Okay. For me, to become a good journalist, just be fair and be factual and always be in between. Okay? Don't state your thoughts to become biased. So, as journalists or the media practitioners should come up with the ethics of journalism. That we are just bringing information, and that we are not as scrutinizers. So we must be in between of the truth, and then only the truth should be reported, not being so-called harnessed, and then eventually, once you share your thought, that somehow you take a side on a certain issue.
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay? Once you share the thought, but as a media practitioner, make sure that the practices of ethics should always be the focal. Should always be the focal priority.
Sir, can you talk about your beat or specialized areas you are handling right now, sir?
Since I am not active anymore in the KBP, I have a license before. As of now, what do you mean bit?
Specialized area that you are
Yeah,
handling.
I am really into a public affairs program. No, since my mastery in the field of my in the academe is on the political science, so I hold on the program of way back in DXSY, DXSY Radio News Patrol, no, that was 1998 to 2005. No, so I was the anchorman and at the same time the commentator. So the public affairs program. So any issues concerning public discussion, concerning a certain political issues or concerning a certain political events or phenomena that involves the public. Okay, so that's my most likely my interest.
And for the last question, any words of advice or words of encouragement for those young people who wanted to be an aspiring journalist
Okay. For the
someday?
young generation who try to who wanted to go into the industry of journalism, so one thing is that you look into your passion, where you think yourself is best into. We have our own perspective, we have our own interest, and our own bit and our own passion. If you think journalism is good for you, then go for it. If you think TV and radio station is good for you, because you have the capacity, you have all the assets necessitates for such endeavor, then go for it. What can makes you happy, and then make sure that you have not violated the
Any
other side,
rules? Yes.
or you have to uphold the so-called you have to uphold into yourself the idea of fairness. Okay, fairness, and then you are not depriving others' right to go into liberty, to go into the freedom. Being a journalist is you are bringing the information, the right information to the people, the right track into the people, and bringing them to become aware of what is good. So do not be involved in broadcast industry with money. Do not be involved in broadcasting because of money, because that is one of the bad experiences of some of the broadcasters. Okay, being bought by certain politicians. Okay, being bought by certain big figure to cover story in favor to a certain politician, to a certain individual for their own interest. So don't be like that. Just follow your instinct and follow your passion.
Thank you so much, sir. Kanang kabalo ko nga gabi na jud kayo bitaw.
Uy, dahil ipang-edit na kasi wala ko sa kando. Super ka sorry, edit na. Sorry, some of the so-called interview tawagan na nanay-listahan na mo. Okay. Proceed. Ikatato.